This is NBC Nightly News, Tuesday, October 30th. Reported by John Chancellor with David Brinkley's Journal.
Good evening. Archibald Cox, who was fired as special Watergate prosecutor, today declared that he may have been the unwitting source of a news leak dealing with a confidential Watergate investigation. A White House spokesman immediately branded Cox's action as inexcusable and characteristic of his actions in recent months. The story ran in this morning's New York Times. It describes a phone call from President Nixon to Richard Kleindienst in 1971. Kleindienst was then Deputy Attorney General, and the president is said to have told him bluntly not to press an antitrust action against ITT. The White House said the story was distorted and unfair, but didn't deny that the call was made. After the story appeared, Cox made a voluntary statement before the Senate Judiciary Committee, saying he had discussed the matter with Senators Edward Kennedy and Philip Hart, along with two members of their staffs, and he said that might have led to the leak. And Assistant Attorney General Henry Peterson was told the story last week. The Justice Department says the leak didn't come from there. The senators and their staff say it didn't come from them, and that's where it stands. Here's more on the story.
Taking his seat in the witness chair for the second day, Cox immediately said he wanted to get something off his chest. He then proceeded to tell of a meeting a few days ago with Democratic Senators Kennedy and Hart and two of their aides, at which the Kleindienst conversation was discussed. "I shouldn't have done it," said Cox, "but I was upset by all the recent events." Cox said he checked back this morning and all involved denied leaking the story. But Republican Senator Scott pounced upon the episode as one more example of how not to run an investigation, suggesting other members of the prosecuting team also should be called to testify.
The idea, I think, now is to, somebody is feeding out these stories on a daily basis on a sort of a stampede scheme. I've seen it done in politics before. It is simply to furnish more material for more inferences, for more opportunities to make charges, and for more necessities for denial. This is not the trial of anybody. It's a trial by innuendo.
Cox acknowledged violating a confidence in telling Senators Kennedy and Hart about his talk with Kleindienst.
About a week ago, in a relaxed moment when talking with Senator Hart and Senator Kennedy and two of their staff, I babbled on a little thoughtlessly and referred to what he had told me. It was among friends, and there was no thought of this being information that would be relayed to anyone. But of course I shouldn't have done it, and it was carelessness, not malice, and I'm afraid I've hurt former Attorney General Kleindienst, and I feel very badly about it.
Today's admission by Archibald Cox that he had discussed confidential material with Senators Kennedy and Hart gave the White House just the opening that it was looking for. Without offering any real evidence, White House aides in recent days have been trying to portray Cox and his staff as tools of Senator Kennedy. Today, Deputy White House Press Secretary Gerald Warren told reporters that Cox's testimony demonstrated the partisan attitude that has characterized his activities in recent months. According to Warren, leaks have been coming out of the Cox operation for some time now. But when he was pressed for details on those leaks, Warren did not have any. However, the Deputy Press Secretary did suggest to reporters that this story received the same coverage as recent reports reflecting on improper White House behavior. Warren described the original New York Times story on President Nixon's call to former Attorney General Kleindienst as distorted. He said the president later withdrew his order not to appeal the ITT case when he learned more facts. Warren did not deny that the president made the call to Kleindienst in the first place. He said it was a policy discussion and not interference in the controversial case. Tom Brokaw, NBC News, at the White House.
As related in the New York Times story, Kleindienst first got a call from the president's assistant, John Ehrlichman, asking that no further action be taken against ITT. Kleindienst replied that he couldn't do that. Ehrlichman hung up, and later the president was on the line. He is said to have called Kleindienst a vulgar name, adding, "Don't you understand the English language?" and repeated the order. The White House said it is proper for a president to discuss antitrust cases, but there